Okay, I think I have a free moment for just one game. Wait a minute, where's my save file, Johnny?
Horror games, don't get those mixed up. These are generally one of the most hyped games. If I were to tell you what game was more popular, Mario Kart World or Kuon, this is a tough one. And what better game than Resident Evil to show what this genre is capable of? Some of the most intense experiences, pushing the limits of what was possible, and these type of games are still going. Silent Hill had a 10-year gap at one point, and it was hit or miss. Some people say the golden age of horror games ended with the PS2. Others say we're in a full-blown renaissance. So let's see which side Resident Evil 4 Remake falls on. And trust me, after losing my save file, I'm already terrified. Resident Evil 4 Remake, honestly one of the better remakes I've seen. Now nothing would ever beat the original Resident Evil remake because that one looks like a full-on PS4 game on the GameCube. But Resident Evil 4 originally released in 2005 for literally every system at the time, and every system after that, but we had the remake to talk about, which released in 2023, and I wanted to see how this held up 2 years later. I did talk about this game when it was fairly new, but I don't remember much. Either a little over 5-minute talk, or that I didn't know I could parry in this game. And that was on the Xbox. I got this on PC now, and I played it, then my save got erased, so it's no better time to play this game again. So let's get started, which last time I picked normal mode, so let's go all the way to hard. I'm no wimp. If you played the original Resident Evil 4, then you should be more than familiar with the setup here. Now with Resident Evil 4 Remake,
That just spells rear.
it's not that drastic of a difference like it was with Resident Evil 2, but this is still an impressive remake, with the story following after the events of Resident Evil 2, putting you back in control of Leon S. Kennedy. We have to go through and rescue the in-game president's daughter from a village in Spain. They may act like zombies, but not really. It's just some sort of icky paint-like goop.
No, boys, don't touch that stuff.
Now, playing Resident Evil 4, this has different ways you can approach an area. You could be like Batman and sneak to take each one out without making a sound, or going like a fucking maniac. Now, the remake, aside from the gorgeous visuals and smoothed out gameplay, this has some new things, and a few new gameplay mechanics. We now have the crafting system, like the ability to run in any direction instead of having classic tank controls and parrying mechanics so you can block and counterattack. This feels smooth to play. I'm not fighting with the controller, everything feels responsive, I don't really have any complaints. Now, the game is split up into 16 different sections, or chapters as this game likes to call it. Chapters 1 through 6 is the main village section. Leon first arrives and has to fight waves of villagers, then meets Luis, which he hides more than tells, so watch out for him. 7 through 12 would lead us into a castle. We finally find Ashley, gets introduced to puzzles, and Salazar.
Balthazar?
Salazar.
Salad bar?
With the final 4 chapters being the island section, military, and lab style areas leading up to the final boss. What I'm getting at is that this game is impressive. Even when the original game costed more than this remake, yeah, gamers, we won. Resident Evil 4 Remake was $10 less, which you can say all you want about Super Mario Galaxy 1 Plus 2 having a deal because you get 2 games for $70. Why? No. You know what? Just sit in the timeout corner. So far, the game is a faithful conversion of the original game. The camera placement is the same as the original 2005 release, along with the areas you discover. It feels like they took the best from the original game, like the story, level design, mechanics, blending it with a few modern touches straight out of Resident Evil Village and Resident Evil 2 Remake. The controls don't hold back either. Some of the most smoothest controls you would ever experience, and I've played Super Mario 64 with the weird control stick, thank you. So with all that said, 2 years later, how does it really hold up? Resident Evil 4 Remake has this scene of open world to it, which is really where all games are going nowadays, which isn't entirely a bad thing if it doesn't saturate the market. The game actively rewards you for exploring off the main path with different loot like money, ammo, and other trinkets to be sold or just kept for sentimental value. And the best part is that it doesn't waste your time. Even with paths that you need to progress through the game, you would eventually be needing to go back to that area anyways. Sometimes you get chased halfway across the map by a guy with a mask, so it's a fair trade. Now, if you're not careful enough, you can easily get bombarded with an ambush of dozens of villagers. With the standard pistol, you can only handle maybe like 1 or 2 at a time, but with other weapons like the shotgun, submachine gun, rifle, bolt launcher, you can handle these no problem. And I knew that the original was tough, but this is nothing compared to this in hard mode. I can't even get a chance to react, it's that needy. Sure, standard mode gets you through the game with some challenge, but this on the hardest is one of the most challenging experiences I've ever done. To the point where switching back to standard is the easiest shit I've ever done. All this sounds good on its own, but does it live up to the original or does it fall flat on its face? Playing the original and the remake back to back, you can definitely tell that there are differences. The controls in the original are tank style. I'm not a fan of these. It screams early 2000s to me. Some people like this, some people don't. Like for example, the X or A button is to run. You can only aim while standing standing still and you need a tutorial to reload your weapon, which honestly, I don't know what kinky thing made them think of that. So you see why I don't like this control scheme? It's a personal preference. Sure, it might be an intense figuring out, oh shit, how do I move? But to me that causes frustration and not fear. And most importantly, the original had more quick time events. Luckily they got rid of at least most of them in the new game. It's kind of cool to see, but still. Looking at both of these, the remake, while it's better and fixes various things from the original, it doesn't outright replace it. You can still play the remake or the original, get a different experience, but still say you played Resident Evil 4, now with 2 flavors.
I just hope it's not expired.